तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। That's a question we have. Subject: characteristics of development. Will personality chart score also be indicator? Okay, the personality chart is designed to state your current position. Right? This is within a person who is about to start his spiritual journey. So he has to know what is his current spiritual status. Knowing that, he can proportion his effort. Where I have to concentrate more or where I need to concentrate first. Do I have to concentrate with reference to actor or action or buddhi? I am having a type of, what type of intellect I have? Do I have a sattvic intellect or rajasic intellect or tamasic intellect? What sort of knowledge that I am seeking? What sort of knowledge that I am going to entertain, pursue? What sort of action I am performing now? What sort of action that I should be performing with what attitude? So, for all this is the purpose of the personality chart. Right? Whereas, this characteristics of self-development is after you had put in effort, how do you know your growth? It's like when you are starting your journey, you have a map. From Bangalore, you start your car. You keep driving towards Chennai. And another one is, after traveling for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you see where are you right now. That's the way you need to understand here. Of course, you can check your old map. Some of us, what we do is we are not sure about the internet connections and all those things. Therefore, we download the map. You download the map and keep it. But then what is the problem with that? Only problem is the downloaded map will not update the traffic conditions. Otherwise, it will show the direction, where you are going. Where are you right now? Okay, after 2.5 hours, where are you supposed to be? I should be somewhere near Ambur or somewhere near Krishnagiri, depending upon the traffic conditions and all that. Somewhere I should be. From there, you are checking. Another one is, after coming to Sri Perumbudur, you are checking. You see the difference. One, when you are starting from Bangalore. Another one, after about 2.5 hours. Another one is, you are already in Sri Perumbudur. It's just a matter of another half an hour, you will be inside Chennai. Inside Chennai in the sense outskirts, okay? I'm not talking about you go in and all that. I'm not including the traffic and all that here. Don't say, sir, from Sri Brahmadur it will take 2.5 hours for me to reach. And all that. That is because you drove in the wrong time. You should know the timing also, no? Right. So we are not considering those things here. When you are there, it's just a matter of another few kilometers. It's about another 30-40 kilometers. Another one is, you are in Poro. And then you are checking how to reach to Mylapore. Okay. From there you have to take a direction and go. Now how you will go? Where are you now? You are already in Chennai. But have you reached your desired destination? You wanted to go to Mylapore. But where are you right now? Mylapore is where? In Chennai. Where are you now? In Chennai. But are you in Mylapore? No, I am not in Mylapore, sir. That sort of a condition is this. The characteristics of self-development is something like that. So if you see the book in these 3 portions, section 1, section 2, section 3, every section concludes with some indication. Introduction to Vedanta concludes with certain indications. That is personality chart. Then practical Vedanta, his intrinsic being, he gave few indicators. Now, characteristics of self-development. What is this condition, sir? This condition is you are in Chennai, in Porur. In Porur, you are asking how to go to Mylapore. Something like that. Now, why do you look to your map? Now you are asking, sir, can I use my old map? Of course, you can use. If you want to use, you can use. But it's not necessary. You can go there and ask a fellow. He will tell you, go straight, keep going straight. A point will come where you cannot go any more straight. Either you have to take a left or you have to take a right. Take a right and keep driving. Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving. You will see Mylapore automatic. You don't have to worry about anything. As the traffic flows, you keep driving. You will get. That's all the problem is. Or, this is after reaching Mylapore. You can take it in either case. So, after reaching Chennai, this map. So, this is describing a person who is enlightened already. The one who has hit that God realization, that ultimate goal, has already achieved. Whatever that goal is. Okay, now don't ask me, sir, what is God realization and all that. Right? I know you will not understand, but when I say God realization, moksha, okay, for example, moksha, when we use a word, now what do you understand by that? See, these are few things, we ask in the first class. In the very basic, we ask this question, what is moksha? What's the meaning of that? See, unless you have a clarity in terms of what is moksha, how can you know whether you are moving in the direction? Is it possible to achieve? Will you be inspired to achieve? How do you know someone who has achieved it? All that depends on what is the meaning that you are going to give, how you are going to be defining moksha. God realization, self-realization, enlightenment, liberation. All these are just, words used in different contexts by different people. Right? So, the one who has achieved that, and he is simply using the word self-development. That's all. Just to make it little easier for you, digestible for you. See, he is doing like that. this the African aboriginals, they have a practice. They want to feed the child. What they do is the grandmother would take the food, put it in her mouth, chew that, and then like birds feed, no? Like that from mouth to the grandchild they will feed. You don't try all that, huh? Okay. You will say, Juta, pack. They say it is so interesting. Because they say this is transference of the enzymes and this immunities which is being built in get transferred. Because the grandmother's body, the enzymes have developed that immunity that comes as saliva. So when you do that, you are transferring that to the child. Effortlessly the child will get, suppose if you carry disease, that will also get transferred. That is why I am saying don't do all that. Okay, I am not recommending this. Something like that he is doing. Self-development. What he is doing it is that enlightenment is chewed by him and he is just giving it to us. When that is coming from him, it will take the form of self-development. That's all. That's what it means. So this is after reaching. Before reaching is a different state. After reaching is a different. So personality chart is designed at the beginning. After you say, yes, now I have decided to grow. I want to evolve spiritually. No more of biological evolution. No more of the psychological evolution. Now I wanted to concentrate on my spiritual evolution. If you decide that you have to grow spiritually, then you should know from where to begin, in which direction to drive your efforts. For that, personality chart. Right. Characteristics of self-development is, after you had put in considerable effort, after you have achieved it, you would see these signs coming out automatic in you. That is why we say don't try to practice any one of these things. This is not for practice. Don't try to, from today onwards, I am going to work on my self-sufficiency. Don't try. Your efforts will be futile. Don't try, from today onwards, I am going to develop universal love. I am going to become cheerful from today. I am going to become selfless from today. No. It is the effect. So, personality chart is diagnosis. Self-development is post-treatment. You do a checkup. Right? So, don't mix up these two things. This is the effect. Cause is not personality chart. Remember, personality chart is to diagnose your disease. You are suffering from the samsara. Like you suffer from the symptoms. You go to the doctor asks you to go through certain tests. From the test result, he is going to diagnose what is your disease. And that disease is what is creating these symptoms. Whether it is a pain or it is the fever, whatever the symptoms are. The samsaric pain that you are experiencing today, we go to this masters, to the Shastra. So when you go to Guru or when you go to the Shastras, they will ask you to go through a diagnostic one. That is the personality chart. After medication and all that, what will happen? After that, there is no necessity actually for you to go through a conscious effort to diagnose. There's no need. How many of us go back to the doctor after you got treated? You had a temperature, you went to the doctor, he gave you this, he said this is just a, viral fever, but then he gives antibiotic. Antibiotic will handle only, this one, but then he gives viral. Anyway, whatever the case is, he gives a medicine, right? You take that medicine, fever is over, now there is no problem. Do you go back to the doctor and tell him? Automatically certain things will come back to you. What is it? You feel fresh, you feel healthy, you feel normal. Now it is automatic after the treatment. Now there is no need for you to go back to the doctor and say, please check my this one. Do I have to give for blood test, urine test, and then MRI. After taking MRI, it's better to take one X-ray also, no? All that is not necessary. But before you start the treatment, you need all that. That is the connection. So don't mix it up. Now we are coming to this characteristics of self-development. First one, self-sufficiency. Read.
Characteristics of self-development. God-realization is the ultimate goal of human evolution. Those earnest in reaching it wish to know their present state, but find it difficult to evaluate their spiritual status. They are unaware of their position in the path of evolution. Few understand what exactly are the traits and characteristics of self-development. Worse still, people have their own standards of judgment. Thus, many enlightened sages have passed into history unsung. Ironically, people attribute greatness where it is least due, confer divine qualities upon spiritual charlatans indiscriminately, deify them as gurus and follow them blindly. Such following helps neither the disciple nor the guru. Do not fall a prey to such irrational practices. You cannot afford to commit such blunders. Try to understand clearly what constitutes the elements of spirituality. What marks the progress in the spiritual path? What are the chief characteristics of self-development? The true attributes of a spiritually advanced person. With this study and analysis, you would be able to assess the strength of spirituality in yourself as well as others. A few traits and characteristics of spiritual evolution are listed below for your guidance. Self-sufficiency. As a person evolves spiritually, he develops self-sufficiency, becomes independent of the world around him. He stands out a master of all he encounters in the world, whereas a spiritually retarded person remains a slave of his body and its perceptions, his mind and its emotions, intellect and its thoughts. A self-developed person rebels within his own self. His peace and happiness is not dependent upon anything other than himself. He does not crave for sense objects or emotions, thoughts or ideas. He remains ever free, unaffected by the manifold pairs of opposites that constitute the world, be it pleasure or pain, joy or sorrow, honor or dishonor. Only human beings have the spiritual potential to enjoy such independence. All other creatures are entirely dependent upon the world for their peace and pleasure. You gain self-sufficiency by focusing your attention on the self. The more you attune to the self, the less dependent you are on the objects and beings of the world. And by finding your union with the self within, you gain absolute peace and bliss. Nothing in the world can augment that supreme state of fulfillment. You become totally self-sufficient, truly spiritual. You may wonder, how can one remain unaffected by the world, become free from the persecutions of the body, mind and intellect, keep a balanced mind amidst trials and tribulations? The answer lies in spiritual discipline. Through spiritual discipline, you gradually detach yourself from the material equipments and their activities by attaching to the self within, until you become established in the self. Thereafter, the world cannot disturb you. Take the example of a coconut. When a coconut is raw, the kernel sticks to the shell. The bondage is firm. You break the shell, the kernel also breaks. But not so when the coconut dries up. When a coconut is completely dry, the kernel separates clear from the shell, becomes free. It shakes inside like a rattle. Now when the shell of the dry coconut is broken, the kernel does not break. It remains as it is, unhurt, unaffected. The same is true of yourself. As long as you are attached to your body, mind, intellect, you are affected when they are affected. But when you detach yourself from them, you remain equanimous regardless of any affliction they go through. You gain your independence, liberation.
Self-sufficiency. See, it is like you've got to imagine a state of mental condition of a river is about to merge in the ocean. Right? Just imagine that state. The river which was born in the Himalayas was born there, the Ganges was born there, traveled across the mountains and the valleys and the plains, and it just comes and it is collected so much of water and so much of things around, seen so much, has a tremendous identity, has its own identity, and it is about to enter the ocean. And when it is about to enter the ocean, invariably you see the river trembling, as it were. It is so superb to see it. I may say, how do you know Ishwaran? The rivers came and told you or what? It does tremble. Because suddenly it is going to lose its identity completely. It can no longer be what it was. It's going to lose something. And that loss trembles, looking back its path. How much it has travelled and come. And it collected so much, and it's going to enter into something. And all that the river can recognize is only one thing: what it is going to lose. It is almost impossible for the river to understand in that process what it is going to gain. It can know the loss. It can understand the gain only after it has merged. See, it loses its riverhood. But instantly it gains oceanhood. And what is river compared to ocean? We have divided that into calling this is Indian Ocean, this is Bay of Bengal, there's an as far as the rivers are as far as the ocean is concerned, there is no division. It is one vast sheet of water. That's it. Now, is there any comparison? There's no comparison. Now, that is the state of this person. Now, as you are growing spiritually, how you will feel is the fear, the problem, the sense of insecurity is to lose that individuality. Because we have made a huge investment on that individuality. See, but the moment the river enters the ocean, first thing what happens to that? It becomes complete. It attains that fullness. That Purnatvam is attained. That completeness is attained. Once that completeness is attained, it is achalam, motionless. It just stands. That's it. Nothing else. That state of not needing something to fill me is called self-sufficiency. So first we need to understand what is the meaning of self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is just a state of understanding, realizing that I don't need anything to fill me, for I am already full. Now contrast that with our condition. What is our condition? Everyone feels a sense of incompleteness. Something is missing. If not other things, you will say, sir, like one man was telling, when Ishwaran is taking Upanishad class, let me know. I have attended his VT class already. What is that? As though what he doesn't understand is, I will read Upanishadic mantra and speak same Vedanta treatise only. Only difference is going to be what? The starting. What is going to be read in the beginning alone is different. After that, whatever I am going to speak is going to be the same thing. There's no difference, no matter. That is why we say, doesn't make any difference. Any text you ask me to take, I will take. There's no problem. Not that I'm going to do it. Okay. There's no problem for us. Why? Because reading the text is not the reference at all. It's like you peg a nail. No matter where you peg the nail, what type of nail you are going to peg, finally I am going to hang my photo only there. Isn't it? Doesn't make a difference. Only difference is going to be what? The nails will be different, the walls will be different, these will be different. But the final picture that is going to be hanging there is the same thing. But he says what? No. All the text I have covered, sir. Only thing I have not studied yet is this Chandogya Upanishad I have not studied. So what to do now? When are you going to take Chandogya Upanishad, Ishwaran? We will do one retreat on Chandogya Upanishad, no? That is called incompleteness. You may feel, that, sir, I don't need money anymore. So you say, you feel what? You are superior. Nothing superiority. You only shifted from this to that. That's all. You only moved from one requirement to another requirement. So many of us get annoyed in life. Why? Because I went to that wedding, but they didn't even ask me, did you have lunch? Nobody was there to receive me there, sir. You get angry. You get upset. Why? Why do you get upset? You want other people to recognize you. You need that attention. You need that recognition. I have done something. People should appreciate that. No? At least if you are not appreciated, another thing people say, at least if you don't appreciate, at least don't criticize. No? Don't say, don't critique. Because we want all that. If that is not provided, the sense of insecurity continues, exists in everyone. Meaning, what is it that you believe that is going to give you that security varies from person to person. That's all. That's the only thing. To one person it is having a house is going to fill. Another person feels not the house, sir, it is the marriage. Another person says it is not the marriage, sir, it is child. It's not the child, sir, it is a car. It's not a car, sir, it is recognition. If it is not recognition, it is this, it is that. Only difference is what is it that is going to provide completeness, a sense of security to you varies. Otherwise, everyone feels the same sense of insecurity. It's the same thing. To say, I don't need anything, what is the requirement? To say, I don't require anything, needs you to recognize and understand that I don't lack anything as I am today. Not that in future. There is nothing lacking in me today. What happens? Do you feel like that? That sense is called sense of self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency means all sense of insecurity is gone. What is the sense of insecurity? Sense of insecurity means a belief that whatever you have now can be snatched away from you. That is called insecurity. You see that? What is it that you have with you right now which can never be snatched away from you? People say knowledge. You get amnesia, what happens? Strength, sir. You see Muhammad Ali now. Okay, not now. Old age. Parkinson. What happens? Have you seen his beauty? Can be snatched away. What is it that you claim that you possess with you that can never be snatched away from you? That can never be lost. Unless you recognize something that you have. See, how that sense, what is so interesting here is the sense of insecurity that you have is the fundamental food for the survival of your ego. That's the feeder for your ego. Remember this. Because if you are not feeling that sense of insecurity, your ego cannot survive. So that ego, for its survival, it will always force you. Because the river was traveling with what? With so much of anticipation. One day I will enter the ocean. One day I will enter the ocean. One day I will enter the ocean. Now it's going to enter the ocean. Does it enter there? No. The rivers resist entering the ocean, merging into the ocean. Therefore, what the oceans do? Ocean comes inside and pulls it back, drags the river as it were. That's why if you see near the places, the river water starts tasting salty just few kilometers from the ocean. If you come and see the river water, it is salty. Why? The ocean comes in and pulls it, as it were, because the river will come with so much of it, but the moment it recognizes the fact that now it is a time for us to enter the ocean and lose myself, it says, my God, that is, losing myself is not possible. I should retain my individuality and then enter the ocean. I should have my riverhood, also I should have oceanhood. That is not possible. This is what the river will want. Therefore, what the oceans do? It says, you come all this way, very good. Now, you will not come on your own. Now, I will come in and pull you out. That is what Krishna says in the Gita. That's what Chandogya Upanishad says. Brahman decides to whom he should reveal. Brahman is not going to reveal because of your effort. Tapas says. It says, Brahman will reveal to whom he decides to reveal. Don't ask me, you mean to say Brahman is male? If I say yes, you have no way of proving no. So that's the state here. Because the ego thrives on that, remember. That's why there will be resistance. Even though when you read self-sufficiency, wow, I want to become independent of the world around me, I don't want to be dependent on the world and all that you will talk. But when the moment comes where you have to become independent, you would start trembling. You will start resisting. The time of this comes. You say, no, sir. That's why he is defining all this. That's why all this is given to us, so that you will get that motivation somewhere. Otherwise, you will not even understand what is he saying, why you have to go through all these things. Things can be snatched away from you. As long as you believe that things can be snatched away from you, there is no way you can feel self-sufficient. You will always be in a state of insecurity. Therefore, what you do, since you feel that sense of insecurity, you believe by getting something from the world, I will start feeling more secure, more secure, more secure, more secure. All your efforts is what? Little more bank balance if I have. Little more, little more. Always you will find in everywhere it will be just a little more. Just a little more. Just all that I want is just that one deal to get completed, sir. That's it. After that, no problems. Just that one deal. I've been behind those fellows for the last 4 years for that contract. Not getting. All that I want is my son to get married. When I started my lectures, I used to say daughter marriage. Now I can't say that. Now the problem is son getting married is the issue for people. Daughter marriage is not a problem anymore. A son getting married is a problem. What is the issue, sir? Somewhere down the line you feel that. Self-sufficiency means no sense of insecurity. And to understand that the whole world is a prison house. Inside the prison, how can you feel secure? Imagine a fellow says, in the prison I feel so secure. Who will feel like that? Have you seen that? There are fellows who will deliberately go and get caught. They will be put in this, whenever they have a programs and things like that, the government will, for say safety purpose, they will arrest few people and put them in jail. They secure the place. Secure the place means what? Who will feel secured inside the prison? What sort of fellow will feel like that? Only the notorious will feel. It's better I'll go to the jail, I feel safe there. Because life is danger outside. That is the state of all of us now. Trying to feel security inside. Now from where this is coming, the whole thing is coming from your association with the body, mind, intellect. Body means material senses, material comforts and sense enjoyments. Mind means various emotions, relationships. Intellect is thoughts, ideas and ideologies. Your association with that. Again we ask the question, sir, what is the meaning of association? Association means you are mentally thinking about that. Mentally you are constantly thinking about material, or sense pleasures, or emotions, relationships, or ideas, ideology. What I think is, that's the intellect. See, the moment you say I think, that's called intellect. Whether it is right or wrong, what type of intellect you have, quality of that intellect, the alertness of intellect, strength of intellect, we are not talking here. Right? Independent of all those things, whenever you say I think, my belief, both are intellect only. Constant thinking. Again we ask the question, okay, sir, what is the meaning of constantly thinking about that? constantly thinking means you are not thinking anything other than that. That's the meaning of constant thinking. So, association with body, mind, and intellect. That's what he says. You are associating with that. When you are associating with that, what is happening? Means you are constantly thinking. What is the meaning of constantly thinking? That means you are not thinking anything other than that. The moment you wake up, open your eyes in the morning, thought is what? That. What is the last thought you get? That. That one thing. That one thing is what will come up in the first thing in the morning. The first thing in the last thought. The first thought will be haunting you constantly. No other thought can be entertained. Anytime you entertain a thought, all thoughts will be revolving around that one thing. Everything that you speak, everything that you do will be revolving around that one. How it revolves is where it is so fascinating to see. Either you think directly or you think indirectly. Those who are cunning will think indirect. Those who are naive will think direct. That's all the differences. Cunning personality will think indirectly, diplomatically. Now, doesn't make any difference. Remember, to laws of life that will not change. It will say, I don't care. Or you feeling that sufficiency. And you go to the Puranas, they give so much of stories about explaining that state of self-sufficiency experienced by these people. The classic case we give is Sudama, Krishna's friend, Sudama. A classic definition of what is self-sufficiency. You want to understand that Sudama. Man in utter poverty, in such poverty, he goes to meet his friend Krishna, who is a king. Krishna was a Dwaraka king. Like we say, founder, chairman, isn't it? The companies. There are two things. One is, chairman, another one is founder, chairman. Founder, chairman is of a greater value in terms of, market. They say he's bigger. He's the founder. Same way, Krishna is the founder king of Dwaraka. Such a person. And Sudama was who? Utter poverty. His kids have forgotten what was the taste of cooked rice. Bhagavatam says that. How he was living. Not him. His kids have forgotten the taste of cooked rice. Rice itself they have forgotten. Imagine what they were eating. If rice itself is not there, imagine how long they should have been there for them to forget the taste of it. Unbelievable poverty. Such a poverty stricken. You can't even call him, below poverty line. If there is something even below that, you have to put him in that category. When he goes to see Krishna, right, Sushila, his wife, is another character. Perfection of that self-sufficiency. I said, they are the epitome of it. peak of, if you want to understand self-sufficiency, there are two words in that. You need to understand Sudama, Sushila. Yes, yes. It fits in also perfectly well. The name. She says, when you are going to meet your friend, how can you go empty-handed? Take something and give him, no? What is it that your friend likes the most? Sudama met Krishna where? When? What was the age? At that age. Huh? At that age, Krishna used to like puff rice, poha. Poha. I don't know how many of you have had plain poha, how many of you have eaten? No sugar, no cooking and all that. Plain one, you eat. What is the taste? Is there any taste in that? See, poha not like, how you make poha in that, Maharashtrian style. Maharashtrian style poha, everybody will eat. That's not what I'm talking about. Raw, no cooking, we add, that coconut, sugar, that? It tastes very good actually. I used to love that. Mix, have that coconut and little, sugar, add that, or even jaggery you add. And you add with that and then you eat and leave it for some time and then you eat. It is very nice. Plain poha. How on earth someone can say, that's my delicacy? First of all, that itself is redundant, absurd. Second absurdity is, this fellow was liking that when he was 10-year-old. Now Sudama going and meeting Krishna. Krishna was, before Mahabharata war, let's say, he had met him. At the time of Mahabharata war, Krishna was 87-year-old. It's all recorded, huh? The timeline are all given there, clearly. 87. Arjuna is also 87. Bhima 88. Duryodhana 88. Remember. You can imagine what would be the age of Karna, who was born much, much earlier. And then you have to imagine what would be the age of Bhishma. Minimum must be around 200. A 200-year-old fellow standing and fighting, almost we feel impossible to think of. But however it is, he was 87. This instance happened about 10 years before, 15 years before, let's say. Even then, Krishna would have been at least the age of 50, 60. Between 50 and 60. Now, 60-year-old fellow, he goes and gives poha. Plain poha. Raw. Not cooked. Why? You used to like it, no? So many of us used to like so many things when you are small. Imagine that fellow comes and gives that today to you and say, you used to like it, no, you eat now. But unbelievable. Look at his condition. Look at that what he is carrying. Look at his poverty. And he goes to meet Krishna. Krishna comes and receives him and treats him, and he stays with Krishna for 3 days. 3 days of staying. Krishna says, simply shift to Dwaraka. What's the problem, man? Shift here, no. We can be together. What is the problem? Shift to Dwaraka. I will give one villa for you. That's it. He says, no, no, I'm comfortable in my place. Thank you. I wanted to see you. I had seen you. Bye. Neither his wife Sushila had asked him to seek help from Krishna, nor he had the thought of asking anything from Krishna, who is a king. In the world, generally what will be the condition that we know of? A person who is, imagine a beggar comes and knocks at the door of your car and gives you 50 rupees. Well, okay, not 50. Imagine that he gives only 5 rupees. Even 1 rupee. Okay? I just knocked at the door just to give you 1 rupee. If he gives, actually that happened to one of our person here in Bangalore. Man has been driving his car, that same route. And these beggars are in the same place, One day that the beggar knocked at the window. He rolled down and asked, what? Kindly change your car, he said. That fellow, that beggar came and told him, actually happened, don't laugh. Actually happened. Only then this fellow realized, my God, high time I have to change my car, he changed his car. Imagine a beggar comes and he gives you even that, that 25 paise. Who cares? He gives you the 25 paise and goes. I just came to give you. You feel what? What is that state of that fellow then? That is self-sufficiency. A state where, independent of anything happening around him, doesn't feel that I lack something. That extreme is what is presented by Sudama and his wife also. That's the beauty of it. Both of them. Sudama and Sushila, both of them have been of that quality. Self-sufficiency. He says in this village preacher, to them, his heart, his love, his griefs were given, but all his serious thoughts at rest in heaven. All his serious thoughts at rest in heaven. As a tall cliff that lifts his awful form, swells from the vale and midway leaves the storm. It's like, a tall cliff. It's comparing the personality to a tall cliff rising above the clouds. There, what is it? Eternal sunshine settles on its peak. The peak is what? Exposed to that eternal sunshine. All the storms were what? Leaves the storms in the midway. Yes, all the storms were all happening at what level? It's not that he is not transacting with all that. Remember, that's the beauty of the state of self-sufficiency. It is not that he is not going to be feeling all that. It is not that he is not going to be transacting with all this. He transacts with the world. He deals with the world. But he is not affected. He is standing as a towering personality. How? Because of this understanding that the kingdom of heaven is within. Just that knowledge. How do you explain that? That state. Just to have that understanding, that's it. All that you need is to possess this understanding. What is it? Right now, I don't need anything. I am complete as I am today. To feel that completeness. Now, we wonder, okay, by having that, what will happen? By having that knowledge, what will happen? For that, you got to watch the entire movie called The £1,000,000 Note. It's there in YouTube. You can watch that. £1,000,000 Note. superb movie by Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck would look very young in that movie. He's a very old one. Where you find him, this Gregory Peck is an American who lost his job, jobless fellow in London, UK. So he doesn't have a job. So obviously no food, no nothing, where to live, how to eat. So he is walking in the streets. Suddenly, one rich man calls him and says, I'll give you a job. But my appointment letter will be given to you, but you should not open that appointment letter for half an hour. If you open that appointment letter before half an hour, you will not get a job. And this is the salary for you. And he gives the salary in advance. That's the beauty of it. He says, your salary is this. You are appointed. He says, okay. And he goes to a tea shop, to a restaurant. He goes and sits in the restaurants and waits for half an hour. Exactly after half an hour, he opens the envelope to see there is a note. £1,000,000 note. The promissory note. £1,000,000 note in his name. And the whole story is that after the total, the whole story starts. It begins. And then this fellow, you're sitting in the restaurant. No, he ate food, right? Had coffee. He had one coffee ad. That fellow comes to ask him for payment. Okay, pay the bill now. He is not having money with him. What to do? He says, I don't have money with me. I have this £1,000,000 note. You take this note. This is my salary. You take this note, give me change. And that owner of that restaurant comes to him. Sir, a fellow carrying a £1,000,000 note casually on the pocket must be a multimillionaire. Otherwise, they will not carry like that. Therefore, if he has to give a change, even if he sells that property, he will not be able to give him £5 breakfast. Now, £1,000,000 minus £5, rest he has to give. Where? He says, I'll take a picture of you and I'll hang it here that you had come to my restaurant. Like you go to this restaurant, you will find all the celebrities' pictures, will be there. They had come to this restaurant. Like that, I'll also hang yours. So what? You don't have to pay for that. Free for you. From there he goes to a suit fellow to buy a suit for himself. So he goes. Same story. The suit fellow says, sir, free for you, sir. It's my compliment. Take it as my compliment. 2 suits were given to him as compliment. Straight the fellow goes to a hotel, checks into the hotel, and he was provided the president's suite. It was provided to him. Why? £1,000,000 note. And the whole story is, he becomes a celebrity in that town, in that city. London city, he becomes a celebrity. Everybody comes to him, he becomes a super rich fellow. Everyone is doing everything. Till the last scene, that £1,000,000 note was not encashed at all. He gets everything. He gets the girl he liked. He gets rich. He gets recognition. He gets that name. He gets that fame. He gets, you name it, he gets everything. And the best part of it is that £1,000,000 note was not encashed at all. All that he could achieve by what? By just possessing that £1,000,000 note. That's it, nothing else. Just having it. That is this knowledge of what? I am complete. We can't even understand that. You see, that's why you have to go to this movie. Right? Sudama, I tried. Right? Didn't work. And then I tried Village Preacher, Oliver Goldsmith. Finally, you have to come to Gregory Peck, £1,000,000 note. Even then, if it is not working, I don't know what to do. Just to feel it. It's, even to just imagine a state like that is fascinating. A state where I am complete. What? To possess that knowledge, something that can never be snatched away from you. Remember that. That's the trump card. The trump card is this £1,000,000 note can be stolen. It was stolen actually in that movie. Not stolen actually, it was just, hidden. The moment he was apparently to have lost that, he loses everything. Just that possession. He was not possessing it with him. Where was it? Is just under the bed. That's all. It is not, stolen by anybody. It is not taken by anybody. It is nothing. It is just kept under his bed. That's it. Just by losing that, not in his possession, not in his pocket, he lost everything. And again he gets it back. Someone plays a prank on him. That's all. Just to play a prank on this fellow. He just hides it. That's all. Loses everything. He loses the house. He loses that reputation. People will start doubting him. Everything is lost. Almost he is about to lose the girl also, whom he loved the most. That is a time he gains back. The moment he gets back that, everything comes back to him. The superb is final one. Finally, that first fellow who gave him that pound note, he comes back after 1 month and calls him for a meeting. And he gives back that £1,000,000 note to him and goes back. He gives him. That was actually a bet between the brothers. The rich man and his brother. They had a bet, it seems. That is, one fellow said, possessing rich money is of no use. You got to actually encash it. Another fellow said, look here, just possess it, you will get everything. So those two fellows had a bet. So they needed someone to test it. So they caught hold of this fellow and tested on him. And that brother says, I won the bet. The fellow says, yeah, correct, you are right. Possessing that is sufficient. Just have that knowledge. I am complete. Is enough. Nothing can topple you. And then he gives a symbolic explanation of a coconut. That is self-explanatory. So simple for you to understand it. Right? So that's why I'm not explaining that. That coconut. When the coconut is attached, the kernel attached to the shell, when you break it, it breaks. It is independent of it. Even if the shell breaks, nothing happens to the kernel. It is unhurt, unaffected. Similarly, whatever happens around you won't get affected. That's self-sufficiency. It's a state. But don't try to practice it, okay? Effort is different. This is the condition. Just to have that knowledge, you gain your independence and liberation. See you in the next class.